So for tonight's class, we're just going to need all of our props. We'll need our blanket, our blocks. Make sure you have your strap and your bolster. Our class is going to be on weight loss tonight. So this is one where you really work on lowering the cortisol levels. You release stress. So really focus on those nice, big, deep breaths. And we're just going to start with just that nice meditative pose. So getting those ears over the shoulders, shoulders over those hips, just taking a nice big breath in. Fully exhaling, getting all the stale air out of the lungs. Softening in the facial muscles, softening in the shoulders. And then just slowly releasing here in the spine. Taking your awareness inward. And just releasing whatever tension you may be holding on to with that exhale. And then from here, I want to just take a moment. We're going to grab that bolster and we're just going to use it to support us. We're going to come into our cobbler's pose. So just bringing the soles of the feet together, kind of scooching those sitting bones behind you, and then grabbing that bolster. We're just going to take this bolster and use it to go forward in. So releasing as far forward that's comfortable. And then this one too, depending on that flexibility, you can lift that bolster and just use it a little bit higher. So you go a little bit less, but if you want a little bit deeper, you're just going to lay that down, releasing. This one I want to hold for 4 minutes. So I'll go ahead. We're just going to set that timer. And then just take a moment here to release in the forehead, softening in the eyes, the cheeks, the tongue, the jaw. Taking a nice big breath in. And on the exhale, just sinking into that bolster, releasing the shoulders, releasing the spine, and just going as far forward that's comfortable. We're just going to take a moment here to just focus on your breath or focus on the music, trying to keep your thoughts from wandering. And then we're just at that halfway mark. So just take a moment here to check in, making sure you're not holding any tension in the facial muscles, releasing those shoulders, releasing the spine, releasing all the way to your hips, just feeling that gentle pressure between the toes here. Continuing to really focus on your breath, in through the nose, out through the nose, really focusing on that exhale, getting all the stale air out of the lungs. And then we'll just slowly come back up, just taking your time. This next one, we'll go ahead and move that bolster out of the way. We're just going to come into our half cobbler's pose. We're just going to bring one leg forward. We're going to keep that opposite leg just right up against the thigh here, hinging at those hips, going as far forward that's comfortable. Just taking a moment here to release in the shoulders, releasing the neck, the jaw. And then from here, we'll just slowly work our way back up. We're just going to switch sides. So bringing that opposite leg forward, bringing the other one in, kind of readjusting, hinging at those hips, just going as far forward that's comfortable. Relaxing the shoulders, really focusing on your breath. And then from here, we're just going to slowly work our way back up. We're going to transition onto our knees here just real quickly. I want to create a little mini bolster. So for this next one, we're going to use our blanket. I'm going to take that blanket and I'm going to unfold it to that nice big rectangle. And then we're just going to roll up the edge here, kind of getting this nice long roll. And then from here, we're just going to take this, we're going to place it towards the top end of our mat. So this one, you want enough room for your shoulders and your head. We're just going to come around here, coming onto those knees. I'm taking a moment to tuck the chin, engage the core. This is where we're going to bring that blanket right across that bra line. So coming down nice and slow and controlled. You want to make sure those shoulder blades are on the top end of that blanket so you can just relax those arms right along there. And then bringing your head down right on the cowlicks. And then when you're ready, just extending those legs down. This one, we're just going to hold for 2 minutes. So taking a moment to release, to relax, softening in the facial muscles. Softening in the shoulders, releasing the arms all the way down to the fingertips. Taking a moment to soften in the heart, soften in the spine. And then releasing those hips. So opening up those legs as wide as you'd like here to really relax all the way down to the feet. And then from here, we're just going to slowly bring our awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. We'll go ahead and bend at least one knee here. I'm just going to slowly roll onto my side. We're going to work our way all the way back up to that seated position. So just moving slow, taking your time. This next one, we're going to move that blanket down just a little bit here. And this is where we want that blanket to go right across the belly button. So coming back around here, bending those knees, tucking that chin, just working your way down nice and slow and controlled. Coming right across the belly button here. When you're ready, just taking a moment to relax those shoulders, lengthening out those legs. And then this time I want you just to take a nice big breath in. And on that exhale, just fully release into the mat here, using that blanket to just gently lift you, relaxing the spine, relaxing the hips. Again, if you need to kind of open up those legs as wide as you'd like to just allow those feet to fold open. From here, we're just going to focus on our breath or focus on your music, just trying to keep your thoughts from wandering. We're going to hold it again for just 2 minutes. And then from here, just slowly bringing your awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. This next one is a little bit easier to get into, so we're just going to bend those knees. I'm going to use my elbows to lift those hips up, and we're just going to slide this blanket right underneath those hips. So you want those hip bones right in the center of that blanket. And then again, kind of just tucking those shoulders into the spine. When you're ready, releasing those legs all the way down. Opening up those legs as wide as you'd like to really soften here, softening deep in the spine. Just feeling a slight tension releasing in that lower back. And then just taking a moment to focus on your breath, focus on the music, keeping your thoughts from wandering. And then again, just slowly bringing your awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. We're just going to gently bend those knees, using those elbows, lifting those hips up just enough to get that blanket out from underneath us. And then from here, we're going to come back down. We're just going to slowly roll onto our side, and we're going to work our way all the way up to seated. So just going slow. We're going to come onto our knees. This next one, we're going to go into our reclined fish pose. So this one, since we're working on relaxation, I want to use our blocks. So we're going to put one block on the short end and then one block on the tall end. And you want that long top facing the block. And then this one too, we're going to kind of do the same. I want this block to go right across that broad line. So our shoulders are on top and then our head is just going to rest here. So we're going to work our way all the way around. Bending those knees, tucking that chin, just coming down nice and slow and controlled. And then making sure that block is in the right spots. So you want your shoulder blades right at the edge. And then I'm just going to take that top one and just slide it right underneath the neck here. And then when you're feeling secure, I want you to just slowly kind of release those arms down. And we're going to lengthen those legs out. So this one takes a little bit to trust. This one we're going to hold for 3 minutes. So just taking a moment to relax in the facial muscles and the eyes, the cheeks, the tongue, the jaw. Fully trusting that block, releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders, just gently allowing those shoulders to kind of go off the edge of those blocks here, relaxing the arms all the way to the fingertips. Taking a moment to soften in the heart, to soften in the spine. Feel that lengthening in each vertebrae. Releasing those hips, and then again, just opening up those legs just enough to release those feet so you're holding no tension in the body. And then just focusing here on your breath or on your music. And then slowly bringing your awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. This one again, we're just going to slowly roll onto our side. So if you want to just bend those knees, gently coming over, we're just going to come up nice and slow and controlled. We're going to go ahead and move those blocks. out of the way. This next one, we're going to go back to that bolster. So this one, I want you guys to bring that bolster just right in the center of your mat here. And I want it to go lengthwise right across. And as we go into this one, I'm just going to sit on the edge of that bolster. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn just so you can see what I'm doing, but I want you guys to be this way on your mat. So I'm going to turn just for a different view here. So as we're sitting, we're just going to calm down again, nice and slow and controlled. So just taking a moment to kind of tuck that chin, engage that core, and just coming all the way down here. You want your hips in the center of your bolster. We're just going to take a moment in our reclined bridge pose. So I want your feet hip distance apart. This one, I want you to lift that head and just get a strong tuck in the chin so you can really feel that lengthening in the spine. And we're just going to take a moment here just to release. So really focusing on your breath, allowing all that tension to flow out with the exhale. And then from here, we're just going to gently lift those legs. This is where I want you to get as stacked as you can. So ankles on top of those knees, knees right up on top of those hips. We're just going to take, again, just a little moment here to feel that release and energy, feeling gravity kind of flowing a little bit differently in those legs. And then from here, depending on your level of flexibility, we can go into a half shoelace pose. So in half shoelace is where I'm just going to cross those legs really, really deep in the thighs. I'm going to bend those knees and grabbing my feet. And this is where you want those knees nice and stacked. And we're just going to kind of pull those knees in just a touch here, grabbing onto both feet for support. If this is too much for those hips, this is a really big one, then I want you to cross just at the shins here, grabbing those feet and coming forward. And then again, just kind of releasing those knees forward, taking a moment to relax in the shoulders. Continue to kind of lift that head and get that strong tuck in the chin so you can feel that nice lengthening in the spine. We're just going to hold this for just a few counts. And then from here, we're just going to extend those legs back up, just taking a moment to feel that energy flowing down the legs. And then we're going to cross those legs in the opposite direction. So if you want a little bit easier, you're just going to bend at the shins, kind of grabbing those toes, bringing those knees just slightly forward, taking a moment to relax in the shoulders. Or this one, if you want a little bit deeper, we're going to cross really, really deep in the thighs, stacking those knees as much as you can, grabbing those feet and coming forward. And then we'll go ahead and relax
Those hands, bringing those legs all the way up, just again, feeling that energy flowing just a little bit different in those legs. And then we're going to bring those legs down, planting those feet nice and strong and grounded. This one, I'm going to use those elbows to lift those hips up. And I'm just going to push this bolster out from underneath me, coming down, slowly rolling onto my side. And we're going to work our way back up. So for this next one, I want to go into a belly down twist. So this is where we're going to use that bolster for a little bit of support. So I want that bolster up towards the top of your mat here. It's going to be nice and long, laying right across. This one, we're just going to come down to one side, coming into kind of that deer pose. So I want to get a little bit wider. So this is where I'm nice and flush against my bolster. I want this bolster right in the middle of my thighs. So there's a little bit sticking out towards my knee and a little bit sticking out towards my back here. And then I want to open up those legs just a little bit. So I'm going to take that arch of my foot right in that knee. And then this one, we want to work really big in that spine. So lengthening the spine as much as you can as you kind of twist over this bolster. This one, we're going to hold for 2 minutes on each side. So at that 2-minute mark, we're just going to switch to the other side. So just take a moment here if you need to. I always kind of lift my hips up and adjust my feet so I can really relax all the way down to those toes. So releasing, sinking deep into this bolster, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the spine, just settling into this real nice, gentle twist. So from here, just gently bringing your awareness back, kind of wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. We're just going to come up nice and slow and controlled. So for you guys, you can just scooch right onto that other hip. I'm actually going to take my bolster and take it to the other side here. So kind of coming on to that other hip. I'm going to take this bolster so it's nice and flush next to me, and it's right in the center here. So you have a little bit of overlap on both sides. I'm going to take my foot, just placing that arch right into the knee. And then again, just that nice big lift here in our spine. So coming as long as you can here, coming all the way down and just sinking deep into the bolster. Relaxing in the forehead, in the eyes, the cheeks, the tongue, the jaw. Really sinking into those shoulders. Feeling that gentle twist in the spine. And then adjusting those legs so you can really release all the way down to the toes. And just take a moment here to focus on your breath. Really focus on the exhale. Keeping your thoughts from wandering.
And then we'll bring that awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes, and just gently coming back.
We're going to come all the way back up onto those knees. So we'll go ahead and move that bolster off to the side. This next one, we're going to use those blocks. So this one, I want to start in our extended puppy pose. So this is where I'm going to take my blocks and I'm just going to stack them kind of side by side. I'm going to put them up towards the top end of my mat here. And we're going to come onto our knees, hip distance apart. We want to be far enough away where we keep this 90 in our legs. So I'm just going to start to come out here, placing my forearms onto those blocks. And then I have to even wiggle back here a little bit. We're just going to sink our head down, getting this really big stretch in the shoulders. This is too much for those shoulders, and I want you to get a nice big bend in those elbows. So you're going to make that diamond shape before you come down. And then just release here. Just really let go as you start to soften. You should feel that head sinking just a little bit closer to the ground. And then from here, we're just going to slowly come back up. I'm going to walk my knees into those elbows here. And then coming back onto those knees, I'm going to take those blocks. We're going to go into kind of a supported child's pose, but we're going to use those blocks. So this one, we're going to get a little bit wider in those knees. We're going to have those big toes together. This one, I want those blocks to be shoulder width apart. And then we're just going to place those elbows down on each block, coming into that prayer. And then just slowly, again, sinking that head down. Releasing the spine. You should feel a really long spine here. And the more you can let go, the deeper that head's going to drop. So this one, what I like to do is get a little bit deeper into those elbows and kind of bring those hands over my head here. So then you can feel that stretch in the triceps as well. So you kind of get a little extra. And then we'll slowly just come all the way back up. This next one, we're going to work our way down. So I want you to have your strap handy for this one. And then we're also going to use our blanket. So I'm going to take that blanket. I'm going to unroll it. This is where I'm just going to fold it once, just to make that nice square. And then we're going to roll it just a couple times here. So about 2 or 3 rolls, just so it goes halfway across that blanket. And then I'm going to place this towards the top of my mat. You want that roll facing towards you. And then with that strap nearby, we're going to work our way back down onto those, bending those knees, tucking that chin, engaging that core. Coming down just nice and slow and controlled. And then this should go right at the neck here for a little bit of a support. This next one, we're going to do an extended head to toe. So I'm going to take that that strap, and I'm just going to wrap it just right into the arch of my foot and then extend this leg as far forward that's comfortable. So this one, what I want you to do is grab just a little bit lower on your strap so you can relax those shoulders. I don't want any tension in the shoulders here. So depending on that level of flexibility, this one I can grab those feet pretty easy, and then that naturally helps me relax those shoulders. So kind of do what feels good here. And just taking a moment to even wiggle that head side to side. Make sure you're releasing the neck, the jaw. We're going to hold this for just a minute, and then we're going to transition. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab that strap now higher towards the foot with the same arm, and I'm just going to drop that foot right to the side here, bringing this leg as far down as we can, kind of opening up those hips here, continuing to relax those shoulders, keeping a little bend in the knee. And if you need to, kind of wiggle that head side to side. We're just going to hold this for another minute. And then we'll just slightly bend that knee, bringing that leg all the way back to center. I'm going to grab with my opposite hand. And this is where we're going to cross over. So I'm going to bring that foot all the way across as far down that's comfortable. Keeping both shoulders down, relaxing in the spine, and just focusing on your breath here, focusing on the music. And then we'll go ahead and bend that knee, bringing that leg all the way back to center. We're just going to switch sides. So I'm going to take that strap off. I'm bringing that opposite leg, just putting that right in the arch of the foot. And then we're going to draw this leg as far forward that's comfortable, but grabbing a little bit lower on your straps so you can relax those shoulders. And then again, depending on that flexibility, right? For me, it's more comfortable to just hold on to those feet than hold on to that strap, because then I can really release my shoulders. But do what feels good here. And then we'll go ahead and release. We're just going to grab that strap with the same hand a little bit closer to that foot. And we're just going to open that hip up all the way out to the side. Keeping just a little bend in the knee, making sure you're not holding tension. You never want to lock those joints. Keeping both shoulders down. Wiggling that head if you need to. And then we'll just slightly bend that knee, bringing that leg all the way up, grabbing with that opposite hand. We're just going to cross over this time, bringing that leg all the way down, trying to work that foot down, kind of coming onto your side. But we're just going to keep that shoulder extended out here. So trying to keep both shoulders down. Mine doesn't go down here, but I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to kind of let gravity bring that hand down. And then we'll go ahead and release, bending that knee all the way in. We're going to take that strap and just put it off to the side. This next one, we're going to bring one leg down. I'm going to bend that. This is just that knee hug. So I'm just going to grab the shin and just draw that knee to the chest here. Just kind of wiggling that head side to side, making sure you're not holding any tension in the neck or the jaw. And then we'll go ahead and release that leg all the way down. We're just going to bring in that opposite knee, kind of hugging it into the chest, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the neck, the jaw. Just focusing on some nice big deep breaths here. And then from here, we're going to release this leg all the way down. This one, I'm in a good enough spot where I can lift up just enough to kind of bring that bolster underneath those knees. So hopefully that bolster was close enough to where you could cheat a little bit. So I want you just to take a moment to release into our kind of a supported savasana. So just kind of taking those shoulder blades into the spine. So you still have this little arch in that lower back, relaxing in the shoulders, relaxing in the spine. This one again, kind of opening up those legs as much as you'd like to fully release those toes. And while you're here, I just want you to take a moment to focus on your breath, to kind of scan the body. See if you're holding on to any tension, any pain. I'm just breathing in love and compassion into those areas that may need it the most. And then on that exhale, just allowing that tension to flow out with the breath. And I should tell you, this one we're going to hold for just about 3 minutes. And then slowly bringing your awareness back, we're going to wiggle those fingers. We're going to wiggle those toes. This next one, we're just going to go into a side lying savasana. So I'm just going to kind of grab the side of this bolster, kind of kicking it out of the way. We're just going to roll onto our side. I'm continuing to kind of use our blanket for a little bit of a pillow. I'm going to take this bolster and I'm just going to place it right between those legs here. And then just releasing down. This one, we're going to do the same. We're going to hold for 3 minutes. And then at that 3-minute mark, we're just going to switch to the other side. Just take a moment here to get comfortable, to really kind of release shoulders, really sinking into this bolster, relaxing the toes. And then again, just focusing here on that breath, on releasing that tension. And then just slowly kind of bringing your awareness back from here. We're just going to come to center. I'm just going to try to keep this bolster right where it's at. And I'm just going to roll right onto the other side here. Continuing to fully release here, releasing in the shoulders. Relaxing that head deep into that blanket. And softening in the spine, softening in the legs, all the way down to the toes. Just really trying to quiet the body here, releasing all that tension, allowing it to flow out with the breath. And then from here again, just bringing your awareness back, wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. We're going to just gently kind of push that bolster out and away from you. I'm going to come back onto my side, keeping those knees bent, and we're just going to slowly roll off and work our way up. Coming all the way back into that seated position. Ooh, good job, you guys. Namaste.